Fellow Liberians, we like to say good evening to every one of you that is joining us this.
Take me back to Liberia, where the drums still play my song. Take me back to my homeland. It's the place where I belong.
LIB Future TV, giving voice to progressive Liberians, speaking about politics, entertainment, and local news.
The closing argument where he made several other claims pertinent to our country and what can we take from there as the meat of the conversation held last evening on the closing argument. But as we usually do, we have Lovetta Davis with us always on the line that will be able to read for us our news, to have you informed on this platform of the major happenings across the country, so that you can take cue of what we will be discussing here this evening, as usual, on the National Discourse, a platform that is particularly meant, to provide you the opportunity to always, participate on, and as well to be able to share your candid opinion as we, get engaged with several discussions such as this one. But let us join Lavera Davis to read for us our news. Lavera, good evening.
Good evening, Isaac, and good evening to our listeners in Radio Land and those of you watching via our Facebook page, LIB Future TV. Welcome to today's trending news updates with me, Lovetta Davis. Comments: if I were president, Liberia would not be facing this drug crisis. Alternative National Congress political leader Alexander Cummings has asserted that Liberia's escalating drug crisis could have been prevented under his leadership, while also acknowledging that the 2029 presidential election will likely be his final attempt to seek the country's highest office. Speaking during his appearance on the closing arguments Tuesday, Cummings criticized the government's handling of the country's growing narcotics problem, declaring if he were president of Liberia, Liberia would not have this drug situation now. Providing his specific policy details, the former presidential candidates suggested that stronger leadership and more effective governance would have better addressed the proliferation of illegal drugs across the country. Cummings also reflected on his political future, stating that the 2029 presidential election will be his last go-round. 2029 is my last go-round. I have to be realistic, and I'm not going to be vexed with Liberians, he said, indicating that regardless of the election outcome, he will respect the will of the Liberian people. The remarks come as concerns continue to mount over drug trafficking and substance abuse in Liberia, with the issue remaining one of the country's most pressing national security and public health challenges. Cummings, who has contested previous presidential elections, has consistently campaigned on promises of improving governance, fighting corruption, strengthening national institutions, and creating economic opportunities for Liberians. The latest comments are expected to reignite debate over leadership, accountability, and the country's strategy for combating illegal drugs ahead of the 2029 elections. You can't crown yourself godfather, Representative Kwaku fires back at Senator Koga amid Nima political rivalry. The growing political rivalry in Nimba County has taken a fresh turn with District Number 5 Representative Kotu Kwekyu rejecting Senator Samuel Koga's perceived claim to the title of the godfather of Nimba. Representative Kwekyu described Senator Koga as a self-proclaimed godfather, arguing that such a title cannot be bestowed by an individual or a group of loyal supporters. According to the lawmaker, the status of a political godfather is earned over many years through demonstrated leadership, sacrifice, and sustained service to the people, not through celebrations or declarations organized in one's hometown. You can't crown yourself a godfather, Kwekyu asserted, emphasizing that true political influence is determined by the people and history rather than self-recognition. His remarks come amid an escalating contest over political influence in Nima County, where debates surrounding who deserves to be regarded as the county's political leader have intensified in recent weeks. Despite his dispute, the dispute has fueled discussion among residents and political observers about leadership, legacy, and the future direction of Nima's politics. The latest change underscores deepening political divisions within the county as influential figures continue to position themselves ahead of future political contests. Analysts say the public disagreement reflects a broader struggle for political dominance in one of Liberia's most politically significant counties. Senator Koga has not publicly responded to Representative Kwekyu's latest remarks. The controversy surrounding the godfather of Nimra title continues to generate widespread public debate, with many arguing that such recognition should emerge organically from the people rather than through self-proclamation or organized endorsements. Senator Amara Corning praises investigative media for exposing alleged drug trafficking network. Bapolo County Senator Amara Corning has praised the investigative work of Spoon Network and Front Page Africa, describing their reporting on alleged drug trafficking activities in Liberia as a significant contribution to the country's fight against narcotics and organized crime. In a statement shared on his social media page, Senator Corning said recent developments surrounding the arrest of the owner of private bar in Pittsville have reinforced the importance of investigative journalism. According to the senator, the individual had previously been identified in reports published by two media institutions highlighting what he described as the value of sustained investigative reporting. Corning further noted that several individuals named in investigations conducted by Spoon Network and Front Page Africa have since faced legal or administrative consequences. He said some have been arrested, others removed from public office, while additional individuals remain under active investigation by law enforcement authorities. During a historical comparison, the senator likened the work of the Liberian media outlets to the famous Watergate investigation carried out by American journalists Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein, whose reporting untimely led to the resignation of U.S. President. Corning said the recent reports suggest the media organizations have developed credible sources connected to ongoing drug trafficking investigation. He urged Liberians to support rather than attack investigative journalists who expose alleged criminal activities, arguing that independent journalism remains one of the country's strongest tools for promoting accountability and combating the illicit drugs trade. Senator Corning's remarks Remarks come as Liberian law enforcement agencies continue pursuing several high-profile narcotics investigations that have attracted national attention. Government abolishes registration fees for public primary schools nationwide. The government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Education, has announced that registration for children attending public schools from kindergarten through grade 6 will be a free beginning with the 2026-2027 academic year. The new policy means that parents and guardians will no longer be required to pay registration fees to enroll their children in any public primary school across the country. Education authorities say the move is intended to remove financial barriers that often prevent children from accessing basic education. According to the Ministry of Education, families are encouraged to simply take their children to school for enrollment without paying any registration charges. The ministry further warned that any public school for many registration fees in violation of the policy should be reported immediately through an official reporting channel, which will be announced in the coming days. Officials said the initiative is being financed through the Excel project and government school grants, with the objective of easing the financial burden on parents while increasing school enrollment, attendance, and retention rates among young learners. The ministry described the decision as part of the government's broader commitment to expanding access to quality education and ensuring that every Liberian child has the opportunity to attend school regardless of their family's economic situation. Sano County Senator Augustine Chie welcomes government's free primary education initiative. Sano County's Senator Augustine Chie has welcomed the government of Liberia's decision to abolish school fees for kindergarten and primary students in public schools, describing the move as a major milestone in the country's drive to make education more accessible. In a statement issued Wednesday, Senator Chie said the Ministry of Education's announcement that all kindergarten and primary students in public schools will pay no tuition, registration, or other school fees beginning the 2026-2027 academic year reflects the goals of legislation he previously introduced in the Liberian Senate. According to the senator, his proposed bill, which remains before the Senate for consideration, advocates for reducing or completely eliminating the cost of kindergarten and primary education to ensure that every Liberian child has access to schooling regardless of their family's financial situation. The Ministry of Education recently announced that starting with the upcoming academic year, education at the kindergarten and primary levels in public schools will be absolutely free. Education Minister Dr. Jaso Jala said the policy eliminates tuition, registration fees, and all other school-related charges for students in those grades. Senator Chie praised the Ministry of Education for taking what he described as a bold and commendable step towards expanding educational opportunities across Liberia. He expressed optimism that the policy will remove financial barriers that have prevented many children from enrolling in or remaining in school, while reaffirming his commitment to supporting reforms aimed at strengthening the country's education sector. And private bat owner arrested and charged with drug importation, trafficking, and money laundering. Liberia's Minister of Information has announced that George Leroy Harris, the owner of the popular private bar entertainment center, has been formally charged in connection with the alleged importation and exportation of illicit drugs and substances in Liberia. According to Minister Pia, Harris is facing multiple criminal charges following investigation into the 317 million United States dollars drug case. Leroy Harris charges include unlicensed possession of illicit drug and substances, unlicensed importation of illicit drug and substances, trafficking, trading, distribution, and sales of illicit drug substances, economic sabotage, money laundering, criminal conspiracy, criminal facilitation, and criminal solicitation. The announcement marks a significant development in Liberia's ongoing efforts to combat drug trafficking and organized crime. Authorities allege that the charges stem from Harris's alleged involvement in the illegal movement and distribution of narcotics within and beyond Liberia's borders. The case is expected to attract widespread public attention as law enforcement agencies continue their crackdown on illicit drug networks operating in Liberia. That was the latest update from Liberia. My name is Lovecta Davis. Good evening.
So we like to thank Lavera Davis for reading our news. Lavera, thank you so very kindly for joining us this evening.
It is always a pleasure being here.
Thank you. So, fellow Liberians, again, we like to remind you that this is the National Discourse where, we discussing critical national issues, and these issues are particularly important simply because we believe and think that we must be able to utilize every civil medium to echo our own stance as it relates to the major national happenings across our country. And we gave you, the audience, those of you that are listening via radio, and those of the people who are following live, on this platform this evening through the LIB Future TV, that is live on, Facebook. We like to say thank you so very kindly for joining us. My name is Isaac S. George, and I'm, particularly excited to serve as your host this evening as we drive you from now up onto 9 o'clock so that we can have our own say on the conversation. So we'd like to say thank you for joining us this evening. And as we promised last night that we would have amplified, the humanitarian gestures of the political leader of the Alternative National Congress, Mr. Cummings, from his inception into Liberia's border politics and what he intends to bring to the political climate of our country. And his recent interview that was being held on one of the sister stations last night on the closing argument, where he made several other claims against the government, and he also amplified his role in the opposition community as per his own aspiration to becoming president of our country, as we all look forward to the 2029 presidential and general elections. So I will be bringing you all up to speed as it relates to all of those happenings that took place, and our own position statement, or our own position as per our own analysis about these issues. So we ask that you stick with us as we take this very short break to be right back on the National Discourse this evening. Please be there. The sound.
linked to this issue. Are you really pleased with the current state of affairs of the republic?
Um, Sylvester, I don't think anybody can be happy with the state affairs of our country. I don't think even the UP government, I mean, I'd be surprised if President Boykai says he's happy with the affairs of the country. For all the reasons you suggest, Liberia is going the wrong direction. And starting with this drug issue, yeah? There are two parts to this drug issue. There's the what I call the narco trafficking part of it, where Liberia is being used as a transit point for drugs coming in, presumably from Latin America through Liberia, repackaged, and then shipped elsewhere, Europe or wherever else it goes, Asia, don't know. So that's one part of it. And then there's a domestic drug issue that's impacting our young people, the hopelessness of the country, and our young people taking drugs. And so this is just one example of why, I believe Liberia is going the wrong direction. The challenges of joblessness, corruption. I mean, the list goes on the lack of institutions. The reason why you got Liberia becoming a narco state, if it's not already one, is because of this corruption. People can be bribed, right? Senior people in government, presumably, are involved in this. So I don't know if anybody on this panel or anybody in our country who's well-meaning, who's objective, who's balanced, can say they're happy with what's happening in our country today.
Judgment playing from things she needs to. So, fellow Liberians, we are back now. We like to say thank you for sticking there with us. We had some technical glitch for which we intended to work on as fast as possible so that we can bring you our show this evening void of, experiencing the technical glitch that we experienced earlier on. So we like to say thank you again for, sticking there with us, and we are back. I want us to commence again, as I usually do, right? Mr. Cummings, the political leader of the Alternative National Congress, one of his philosophical ideas that I have been able to borrow and buy into. In fact, I've purchased that particular idea and it has become a part of me. I have been able to embed it in me as a person. The reason is because it is a transformative idea. Someone who has a transformative mindset, he or she will come to the realization that this particular idea that Mr. Cummings is proffering to the Liberian people as it relates to the sectors in our country that have been ravished are very, very much progressive. They are conventional. They are very, very much inventive when it comes to you conceiving that particular idea. And what he has said is this, fellow Liberians: one cannot continue to do the same thing over and over, or one cannot do the same thing repeatedly, but he or she is expecting a result that is contrariwise to that action he or she is employing. In our common parlance, it means the same thing you've been doing over and over. If you keep doing it but expecting different results, it means that you're fooling yourself. The only time you will expect different results when you change is what Mr. Cummings has been saying. That has been Mr. Cummings' own idea. And if you are very holistic enough, if you are very interested in seeing transformation, in seeing change, you want to buy the ideas of Mr. Cummings, and you want to side with him and support his idea. Because as a country, 179 years in existence as a nation state and as a country, we have not been able to transform. Our transformation is on a slow, sloppy pace. And to a larger extent, it is important for us to recognize that we are regressing so dramatically such that we need a new breed of leaders that will come and think about this country's transformation and, have a sit down and try to have a moment of introspection to believe that Liberia can transform with this new breed of leaders. And that is where Mr. Cummings, as the political leader of the ANC, fits in. That is the quadrant for which he fits into. His ideas are conventional. His ideas are progressive. He brings a new kind of leadership to Liberia's body politics. His aspiration is not just about the superficialities that are embedded within the presidency. His aspiration to be president of this country, fellow Liberians, is to change the living conditions of the people. He has a compassionate plea, a compassionate call, a popular aspiration, that is to work in the collective interest of the Liberian people. That is what Mr. Cummings, as the political leader of the ANC, is exerting frantic effort, very painstakingly, fellow Liberians, to ensure that were he to become president tomorrow, those policy ideas that he has, those transformative agenda that is on his docket will be implemented immediately upon becoming president. Because I know Mr. Cummings to be a very pragmatic individual. He is so pragmatic to the extent that, one, he is time conscious. Yes, this man is particularly time conscious. He believes that with time everything can be worked on. So such level of pragmatism is something that we as Liberians should be able to gravitate to. And that has been Mr. Cummings' own idea. That has been his agenda. That is why I promised you on yesterday, as you listen, I promised you on yesterday that on this platform this evening, on this edition, I am going to amplify Mr. Cummings' own agenda to be president of this country. You know why we are doing this? You know why we are doing this? Because we believe that this nation have been placed to the low places of the earth, and we need someone. We need someone who is, the rescuer. I'm not discussing the other fake rescuer, right? I'm discussing someone who is going to serve as a guard to this nation's transformation. Look at our respective sectors across the country. Look at the health sector today. Look at the education sector today. Look at electricity. Look at employment. This administration is failing so dramatically such that they are resorting to excuses other than working in the interest of you, the Liberian people. This administration, as we drive forward to 2029, will make them 18 years. 18 years. More than a decade or almost 2 decades serving the Liberian people. But unfortunately, very unfortunately, fellow Liberians, they have not been able to transform your lives to a greater extent where you can appreciate them. Where you can appreciate them and say, yes, this regime has been able to transform my life, and I have job opportunities. I'm going to school. My living condition has been transformed. I'm not in abject poverty. My condition is appreciable. Having been able to, being worked on by the government after they should have utilized several other methodologies to improve my living condition. No, you cannot boast of that. Because the government is doing little or nothing to ensure that your life is improved, your living condition is transformed, and the people around you can also attest to that reality. The government is not doing that. The government is not interested in transforming your lives. That is why we are telling you fellow Liberians. That is why we are putting to you forth Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings. We owe no one the apology that they may crave. Why we are supporting Mr. Cummings, why we are telling you that it is necessary for Mr. Cummings to serve as the next president of this country. We owe no one apology. Because the people that have been placed in position of power and authority in this country, years in and year out, they have not been able to do anything for you and myself. All they have done, fellow Liberians, is to steal from you, is to rip the future of this country. Every sector, in fact, is to plunge the country into economic chaos. That is what they continue to do. That is the actions and inactions being seen from the government of the day. And it is particularly unfortunate that they will endeavor into such journey. It is unfortunate. And we are saying to you, Mr. Cummings is the person for whom, as we drive close to 2029 presidential and general election, should be looked at. The other people have been tried and tested. You have given them your authority. You have given them your power. Given that the constitution of this country says the power is inherent in the people. We, as the people of this nation state called Liberia, the power is inherent in us, and we have, to a larger extent, given our power and authority to a certain group of people, a very devilish syndicate. And over the years, what they have done to you and myself is to mismanage the opportunity given to them by the constitutional authority given to us, that we repose in them through trust and confidence, to lead us to a transformative path, to a progressive path, to a path where other nations across the country can be jealous of us. Yes, through our constitutional right. How many nations across the continent, even within the sub-region, are jealous of Liberia? How many nations? None. Simply because over 179 years, it has been particularly unfortunate that the way this country has been led by individuals, the way this nation has been led by a certain group of individuals, is not the way we should be led. They have been leading us to the dungeon. They have been leading us to the rabbit hole. They have been leading us to the tank of the septic. Poverty is on the increase, very historical increase. Youth unemployment as well, fellow Liberians, is on the increase. While you have officials of government are living in broad day wealth, opulence, extreme opulence. And we are telling you that we support Mr. Cummings. We are going to amplify his agenda. We are going to sit on every necessary platforms given to us to inform you that Mr. Cummings is the next president of this country. He needs to serve this country. He is the best candidate. He is the best candidate to lead Liberia. He is the best. Somebody will argue why he is the best, but there are a slew of reasons why Mr. Cummings is the best. There are avalanche of reasons why we believe Mr. Cummings is the best. And with this preponderance of reasons, as it relates to he being the lone candidate to drive this country to a progressive path, that is why we are utilizing this platform. And as we proceed in our today's conversation, we are going to give you tangible reasons why he is the best candidate to lead Liberia. Yes. Nobody will argue about government experience. Because if it is government experience can be conceived as the argument for being the best in this country, then Liberia should be like Dubai. Liberia should be like Qatar. Liberia should be the Canada. The reason is because government experience, according to a certain group of individuals, is the only experience you need to have to drive the change that the Liberian people need, if that is the case. But it is unfortunate. It is very unfortunate because people in this country have utilized their government experience in a very unfortunate fashion that the Liberian people continue to be in abject poverty and destitution. We are seeing modern day social decadence in our country. We are seeing that. A modernized social decadence where the Liberian people have become beggars in their own nation. They are subjugated. They are indeed subservient. So sad indeed, fellow Liberians. So sad indeed that the government will be acting in the way it is acting. It is very sad. That is the reason why we are projecting Mr. Cummings to you. So, Mr. Alexander Bernard Cummings held, or accepted the interview of the closing argument on yesterday evening. And at that particular interview, he made several other statements for which I want to bring to your attention this evening. If you may not have listened to the interview. And one of those things he stated that I think is profoundly essential and imperative that we should state on this platform is that this issue of concession in our country is a very vital issue. Let us backdate a little bit. The government of the day, this current rescue government, while they were in opposition, I used to follow the president, then former vice president, current president, President Bokai. One of his campaign messages and one of his policy arguments was the concessions of this country, they are bad, they are negative, they are counterproductive to the interest of the Liberian people, and where he should serve as president tomorrow in 2023. That is, he would have reviewed the concession agreements, because the economic conditions of the people with the locale of those concessions agreements across our country are not indicative of the amount of natural resources they are extracting from our country. And that is a very utter contradiction, and that particular contradiction should be abated
see. I remember all the times grace carried me.
From the Torres Tower on the
So, fellow Liberians, I'd like to again apologize, for the break in transmission. We had some technical problem again, not just technical problem, but LEC left. We are expecting LEC in this country. We are expecting, electricity to be as much as stable it should be in Liberia. But it is unfortunate that a very serious show such as this one can be ongoing, and then the Liberia Electricity Corporation just go immediately while the show is ongoing. However, we like to say we are back. We want to thank you all that are following this evening for sticking there with us. It was just because the Liberia Electricity Corporation took away their own power, so we had to use the generator for and on behalf of the Liberian people. That is why we are here tonight. So, I was discussing how ravaging it has been for us as a nation state by the people for whom that have paraded themselves as leaders in this country, and telling you that it is now time that we bring to board new leaders, new corps of officials to lead this country. And Mr. Cummings is the one. Mr. Cummings is the man. Mr. Cummings is the individual for whom we believe can drive change. Not because he has not been to government, but because he understands what the Liberian people need, what they deserve. So if you listen to him closely, in his analysis about the concessions agreements across our country, you will realize that this is someone who understands the economics of concessions across the world. Mr. Cummings stated very clearly last night that before even shovel be placed through the earth of Liberia, the government of the day should review the economic conditions, the economic dividends, the adverse ramifications as to whether they are positive or negative. If they are negative, the government should not agree. If they are positive, let the government agree, not because they should agree, but they should agree in the collective interest of the people. His idea has been about the people, not for personal aggrandizement, not to enrich the fellows around him, but to ensure that the living conditions of the people of this country is improved. That has been Mr. Cummings' agenda. That has been his own idea. He also talked a great deal about the budget. And again, he is making this projection that the budget should be at least $2.5 billion. In 2017, he argued that the budget of our country should be over a $1 billion. Now, he has emerged with another argument that is in corroboration to the previous argument he made almost 10 years ago, that the budget of our country can be increased to 2.5 billion. But what does that increase bring to the conditions of the people is the matter to be discussed. What ramifications will that increment bring to the Liberian people is a matter to ponder on, to have a conversation on, and to ensure that the Liberian people have an understanding of what he is intending to convey. And this is what he is trying to say, fellow Liberians, that if the budget is 2.5 billion United States dollars, it should reflect on the conditions of the Liberian people. It should reflect on the Liberian people in a manner where the economic conditions can be changed, their social conditions can be transformed, and their livelihood can be to an appreciable extent where other countries within our sub-region can envy us. That is what Mr. Cummings is intending to convey. He is not trying to say that when the budget increases, the salaries and benefits of high ranking officials in government should increase. No. And that is the clear picture for which this administration is painting to us, the Liberian people. Today, we have a budget. We have a budget that is over 1.2 billion United States dollars. But it is particularly unfortunate that that particular budget cannot be seen reflecting on the conditions of the people. Over 77% of that budget, over 77% of that budget is on recurrent expenditure. Recurrent expenditures to pay salaries, benefits, to enrich high ranking officials of government. That is a contradiction. That is a contradiction. So, fellow Liberians, we are admonishing you this time of our nation's history. We are admonishing you that yes, indeed, it is imperative. It is particularly important for us to see to it that we change the dynamics and have a recourse of the path for which our country needs to be on. Our nation needs to be on a progressive path. And that is the argument that is being made by the political leader of the Alternative National Congress, Mr. Alexander Bernard Cummings. We are trying to amplify his idea. We are trying to proffer his idea alongside him simply because we believe in his agenda. We believe that he can make a very dramatic transformation were he to be president tomorrow. We believe that with his experience in the corporate world, with an idea as to how concessions across the globe can work, bringing that to Liberia, translating it to the current circumstance of our country to contemporary Liberia, Mr. Cummings can be a better president. Mr. Cummings can perform to an exacting and an appreciable extent in a very excellent fashion. That is what Mr. Cummings brings to the political climate of our country. And we are telling you this time that it is now time that we have a recourse in our nation's history as we drive forth to 2029. Join the movement. Let us change this country. Government has failed us. Government in the past has failed this country. The current administration is failing dramatically on the promises made to the Liberian people during the 2023 presidential and general elections. So we are telling you, it is high time that we change this country. And one of the things Mr. Cummings stressed on, which is extremely important for us to notify here on this platform this evening, is that the vice president of this nation, Mr. Jeremiah Kwan, Mr. Kun has not been like former vice president, now President Joseph Yimamboka, as a car parked in the garage. But you know the staggering and utter contradiction why he is serving as vice president. All of the responsibilities given to him, all of the responsibilities given to this vice president have not yielded a positive outcome. The responsibilities given to this vice president have not yielded a positive outcome, even though he is not a car parked in the garage. But the positive outcome of his responsibilities have not been seen as vice president of this country. The last time I sat on this platform, fellow Liberians, and I informed you that the issue of electricity is a very important matter. It has a ripple effect on our nation's economy. And to a larger extent, in 2025 of February, the president gave a responsibility to the vice president to organize a committee. And that particular committee, fellow Liberians, indeed would have ensured that the mitigation and the tackling of the electricity problem is something that the Liberian people would have seen a positive result from, and the impact would have been felt. But unfortunately, we still have problem with electricity in this country. The last time I saw the vice president going to Beer Mountain, and the vice analyze those of the things he has said and why we are preferring him as our next president. We hope and pray that LEC doesn't fluctuate like the way it has been fluctuating, like the way it has been fluctuating over the years. And we hope and pray that we have a successful show tonight. We have at least an hour to be here, and we look forward to ending the show in a very grand fashion. So, we are back, fellow Liberians, and we again want to apologize for the form, fashion, manner in which everything transpired. By 8:15, we'll be able to bring you the voice of Mr. Cummings on some of those arguments that he laid out. It is interesting that you listen to have an understanding of what we are intending to say here this evening. So, you know, like we were saying, the concessions in this country are very important. You know what does a concession do for a nation? It enables the citizens of that particular country to have access to job opportunities. Today, when Asila Meta leaves Liberia, other Liberians will be out of job. Yes, they will be out of job. But the locale for which Asila Meta is going to leave, or the region for which Asila Meta operating or operated in, how does those regions look? How do those regions look? That should be the biggest question. And one of the other arguments that Mr. Cummings has been preferring to the Liberian people is that we should be able to nationalize our resources. That is, the government itself nationalize the resources by getting involved in the market and ensuring that they themselves can have a say. They themselves can understand how the resources of the country is to be distributed. That is, if they sell the natural resources of our country. That has been Mr. Cummings' plea. That has been his passionate plea for this country. So the concession argument that has been raised by the political leader of the Alternative National Congress is very important for us to look at. It is very significant for us to monitor, evaluate, and analyze, because no one has been able to come with such a progressive idea and ensure that he argued in a fashion that brings to your attention and your understanding that he understands the methodologies that are primal or significant enough to be utilized so that the Liberian people can benefit in return. That has been his argument. That has been his argument. So the concession of this country, those concessions that have been signed and have been ratified over the period, have not been in the interest of the Liberian people. Had they been in the interest of our country, we would not have been discussing the unavailability of electricity, how teachers, service workers, those of the people that are in the hospitals, those of the teachers that are teaching the government schools across our country and public and other public institutions, our civil servants would not have been taking home as low as 150 USD by the end of the month. They would not have been. That has been Mr. Cummings' idea. And he has said, as I said to you earlier last night, that Mr. Cummings is going to, as per his first 100-day agenda, is going to ensure that they review the salaries that is taken by service workers in this country. He cares so much. He is compassionate enough. He cares so much about people that are rendering service to the public that he believes they should be paid. They should be paid in a fashion that they are working for. That is the service for which they are delivering to the public. When they have been paid for such service, they should be smiling. The man can take home 150 USD at the end of each month, where he has to pay children's school fees. He has to transport himself every day to work. He has to pay house rent. He has to pay utility bills. He has to save for his future. 150 cannot do anything for him. Salary as low as 150 USD on the average for a civil servant cannot do anything for a civil servant. So that has been Mr. Cummings' idea, that in his first 100 days, he is going to carry on a drastic review, a very robust review of how civil or public worker service providers are benefiting. The nurse, if you've been following the national happenings across our country recently, nurses, medical practitioners have been protesting. They have been protesting that they have been underpaid, and there is huge level of disparity across the health sector when it comes to salaries and benefits. There are certain people that have been subjected to receiving low salaries, and there are certain people that have been prioritized. And such contradiction, and you know, that level of partiality cannot be something that is going to be ignored. And as a result of that, they protested just recently in Bon County, Banga, in Suakoko, pardon. So we cannot have such level of disparity within the service sector of our country. And that is what Mr. Cummings is saying. That is his agenda. He is telling you that in the first 100 days, as his administration will intend to prioritize the service workers, he is going to be looking at the conditions of the people that are providing services to our country. The health workers, the teachers, members of our security, the armed forces of Liberia, the Liberian National Police, the immigration, the LDEA, and you can name every other security apparatus across our country. They are going to be looked at. That has been Mr. Cummings' argument. So we will go to Tucson to play for us few clips before we continue or have a conversation surrounding our next talking point, and then we go to the line. So Tucson, please play for us a few of Mr. Cummings' excerpts as per his interview on yesterday.
He is not using his VP as a parked car. He claimed that for 12 years, President Boyka was a parked car. To his credit, he's given Vice President Kuhn responsibility for electricity, energy, for reducing the cost of living, cost of goods and services. I think the yellow machine, he was asked to look after that. And the list goes on and on and on. Right? Liberalization policy.
Fellow Liberians, like I said, the vice president.
We have seen zero, nada, nothing. Right? Did I hear you say zero performance? Zero, nada. And I'm happy for you to contradict what I just said. Right? And I stand to be corrected, and I will apologize if I'm wrong. But we've seen zero, no tangible outcome from any of those responsibilities that were giving the vice president. He visited the B Martin. The other day I was about to travel, going to the airport. There were these big buses of apparently Turkish. I got nothing against Turkish people, but against Turkish citizens who run going to Raw's feet. There was a Turkish airline taking them, I guess, on a break or whatever. Right. So what happened to that liberalization policy? Right. So the point is, given a lot of those responsibilities, we have seen no outcome. Nothing has changed. The life of the average Liberian, nothing has changed. Let's talk about concessions quickly, and then I will rest. Possible, right? As I said earlier, we're open to collaboration with CDC, with CMC, with LPP, with NPP, and let's wait and see how that takes shape. How that works. It would be premature to limit this collaboration to any one institution now, any one individual. But as I mentioned earlier, we open to collaboration, driver, cowboy, whatever. Let things unfold. Let the conversation happen. Let's not prejudge what the outcome might be. Let's give it time, 2.5 years, still to go. We'll not wait till year three before, or year six rather, before we make these decisions. But let's just give it time. We're in a very early stage of conversations with all of these institutions, individuals, and the key is that everybody needs to be open, though. So the question just cannot be asked of me. It should be asked of all the participants who are in this conversation about potential collaboration, coalition. Everybody needs to be flexible, right? If indeed we are serious about changing our country. And the last thing I would say on that is that for me, it's not just tip our sake. We gotta agree on what we would do differently, how we change the life of the average, ordinary, common Liberian. We gotta agree on that first. What are we gonna do different with education, with healthcare, with infrastructure, with agriculture? Let's agree that. Then that will provide the context, the construct against which we decide who plays what role, right? But we gotta agree on what we're trying to achieve when we get state power, because that can influence who's best to do what. So you can't get together and say, oh, you beat this, you beat that. That gotta be in the context of something. A strategy, an objective, right? So we're open to all of that, but I want to make clear that understanding of what we're doing, because I'm not just doing it because I want to be president. I want us to change that for the ordinary Liberians. The average common Liberian, the life to get better. That's the goal, right? And we need to agree that's what we all want, and then we decide who plays what role to get that power. On the border crisis, we need to understand what.
So basically, we have 2 minutes to ask the question. Okay. 2 minutes.
Okay. My question here is, if you are president, what will you do to address this drug? What will you do to address this drug situation?
Yeah, look, I believe. I believe, Henry. If I was president of Liberia, we wouldn't have this drug situation. Liberia would be viewed as a state, as a country that is intolerant of these kinds of behaviors. The people we would have in leadership roles, in government, in the security apparatus, would be people that would be well vetted, would not be susceptible to the sort of bribery and corruption that has caused Liberia to be in this sort of drug situation. The hopelessness that exists in our country. As I mentioned earlier, there's the domestic drug challenge, where our young people feel hopeless, no jobs, no skills, and therefore become susceptible to this drug issue. We will be addressing those issues to reduce what I call the demand for drugs domestically. And then the narco state, the Liberia becoming a transit point for drug trafficking, that wouldn't exist either. Our institutions will be strengthened. We'd have the right people. They would be appropriately resourced. They would know that if they got involved in this sort of behavior, they will not just be fired, but they will be prosecuted. There will be consequences for their behaviors. So you set the tone from the top. You set the direction from the top. The world will know that we are going to be intolerant of this kind of behavior. We will be working with our neighboring countries to also ensure that drugs are not coming through our borders. We'll make sure the equipment we need to protect our people, our borders are in place. So it'll be a very different situation, a very different environment if we had the opportunity, the blessings, to lead our country.
Pardon, Mr. Cummings understands the issues of the people. He understands everything the Liberian people have been bedeviled by. He has a feeling for that, and he has a penchant of the suffering that is ongoing across our country. That is why he is saying that it is important, fellow Liberians, that this nation needs to be transformed. If you listen to his argument on this particular drug issue, he said they will work collaboratively with neighboring countries, because the best way to not get sick is to prevent the sickness from coming. The sickness cannot come over you. You do not know the magnitude of the sickness you have been diagnosed of, and you are saying that you're fighting the sickness, you are doing well. The initial decision you should have taken is to prevent that particular sickness. If malaria is prevalent in your country, what you need to do is to use mosquito spray, is to as well, I get mosquito net in order to mitigate the presence of malaria. Right? So you cannot get, you cannot contact malaria before you say you are doing well against malaria. No, you are not doing well against malaria. It is because of your laissez-faire, your lackadaisical attitude, which is why you have been pronounced to be someone who has contacted malaria. And that is the case with this entire drug crisis. And that is what Mr. Cummings is saying. Let us collaborate with other countries, that when we have a semblance of strange happenings across our country, those nations that we are in collaboration with can have us informed, and as a nation, we can take preventive measures. But we have not been able to take preventive measures of this entire drug saga. And Mr. Cummings is saying, were he to have been the president of this country at this point in time, we would not have experienced what we are experiencing now. And I want to agree with him, because this president in Joseph Boca labeled the presence of drugs in this country as a national problem, and he is going to tackle it. But the way, the form, the manner in which this administration is handling this drug matter is questionable. And if you listen to Mr. Cummings' own analysis, you want to agree with him. You want to agree with him. You want to agree with him. You want to agree with Mr. Cummings that the government is not. It's not. And one of the things he stated last night, fellow Liberians, and I want you to be reminded, is the fact that this border crisis is yet to be over. It is far from over. Our sovereignty was threatened. Lawmakers were being impeached. There were decisions taken by law enforcement officers on the home soil. But it is unfortunate that the government keeps lying to the Liberian people about this border crisis. And Mr. Cummings said, Guineans should be our partners. We should not be in scuffle or altercation with our Guinean counterparts. Were he to be president, but now that issue would have been settled, because he would have used every diplomatic means possible to ensure that that particular matter be put to bed. And that is what we have not been able to see from this administration. We have not been able to see that with the presence of Guineans still on Liberian soil. Mr. Cummings has been arguing about that. And he was able to re-echo that on the closing argument last night. Right? So the zero tangibles from the vice president's working are matters of vital concerns. You cannot be working fruitlessly. You cannot be working without any positive outcome or impact as per the responsibilities given to you. So we'll touch base on, one of the things Mr. Cummings has said, and we should be able to analyze that as part of his agenda to change this country. He has stressed on education, fellow Liberians. Mr. Cummings' intention for education is so unique. The reason why I believe it is unique is because, one, he is currently contributing immensely to young people in this country. He is providing educational opportunities for them. He is providing that. And one want to know, how is he providing it? Through the Cummings Africa Foundation. Through the Cummings Africa Foundation, he has been able to ensure that many young persons go to school. And he is telling you that in the first 100 days of his presidency, the issue of science, technology, engineering, mathematics is going to be high on his agenda. That is one of his educational policies. Yes. Because if you look at other nations across the continent and you intend to do a comparative analysis to Liberia and perhaps Tanzania for the sake of the conversation, you understand that in terms of STEM education, Tanzania is making massive progress while Liberia is lacking behind at the low ebb of the educational sector. In science and technology, engineering, mathematics are the new driving forces of a progressive nation, and Liberia should get involved. Liberia should get involved with her hands on deck, tackling that particular issue to ensure that STEM education is a introduction to a nation such as the one we are currently experiencing, and the massive transformation is going to be positive because we are going to have so many Liberian engineers. We are going to have so many Liberian scientists. We are going to have so many Liberians who will be getting involved into the tech sector. We are going to have so many Liberians who are going to be mathematicians. We do not have that many mathematicians, by the way. So there are going to be preponderance of those people across our country. So STEM education is high on his agenda for the first 100 days serving as president. The reason why we are telling you all of these, fellow Liberians, is not just to project any other person to you. We are projecting Mr. Cummings. We are telling you, fellow Liberians, that with all of the immoral acts, with all of the societal decadence we have experienced under governments past and the current administration, it is now time that we transform our country by taking a recourse to a path of progress, to a path of reconstruction, to a path of restitution, where Liberia can serve as an enviable country, a darling boy within our sub-region and the continent at large. With Mr. Cummings as the president, with Mr. Cummings serving as the president, fellow Liberians. That is the argument we are making here this evening, and henceforth we'll continue to make, because we have been hurt as a nation. We are too old enough for us to be lacking behind in terms of road construction, electricity, health, education, sanitation, employment, any day. Even our concessions are not our own. The economy as well is not in the hands of Liberians. So, where do we stand as a nation and people? That is the question we should ask ourselves. So, it is now time that, we go to the line, take calls, hear from you, the audience, those of you that have stayed with us through the rigmaroles of our today's show, to hear your voice, or voices, pardon. So please dial 077795959, 088187 the numbers to call us this evening to participate on the line: 077795959, 0881 0881871670. The numbers to call us this evening to participate on the show. Do we have a call there? 077795959, 0881871670. The numbers to call us this evening to participate on the show. We've been discussing several other issues concerning the political leader of the Alternative National Congress, Mr. Alexander Benete Cummings, who, honored the invite of the panelists of the closing argument on yesterday, and he made several, appreciating and commendable statements, for which we are bringing forth to you, fellow Liberians, what we make up of the interview by with Mr. Cummings yesterday, and what are those great things he spoke about, ranging from education, his compassionate plea, to transform this country. He is not in the presidency for everything that is embedded in the presidency. No, he is getting involved to becoming president simply because his agenda is to transform this nation, and that is what we are proudly talking about this evening. So please dial 077795959. I think we have a call there. Good evening. I call, your name is, and where are you joining us from?
Good evening, Isaac. This is EJ Tour, and I join you from a District 11 resident in Moserado County.
Okay, EJ Tour. Let's hear you. You've been following the show.
Sorry, I just tuned in and then later before you went to the line. But the bottom line here is about Mr. Cummings, right?
Yes, indeed. We are discussing Mr. Cummings.
Yes. So today, a lot of Liberians have understood that the Unity Party and the CDC has absolutely nothing to offer Liberians.
Mm-hmm.
At this point in time, I think it is best suited that we go the Cummings way.
Okay.
Because last night, if you listen to Mr. Cummings on the closing argument last night, he was very clear that he gave and he outlined his vision for Liberia very articulate. And I think if Liberians who are conscious and ready to see the need for transformation in our country, democracy, in the development, I think they will go in the ANC direction, which is the Mr. Cummings direction. So we encourage every Liberian to look the ANC way and rally around Mr. Cummings. They say we got 1%, but it takes 1% of all to make the change. So if they can come and join the 1%, I think we can add a 50 plus that 1% and take the presidency.
Okay, thank you so very kindly for participating on the line this evening, EJ2. 077795959, 0881871670. The numbers to dial this evening to participate on the platform: 077795959, 0881871670. The numbers to call this evening to participate on the platform. We've been here discussing Mr. Cummings. It is important that we have a new path to take as a nation. We cannot continue to do with the old order. We cannot continue on the trajectory for which we are currently on, and it is unfortunate that that particular trajectory is not leading us to a path for which every one of us may be excited. So it is now time that we change the trajectory. In fact, the person for whom we have been led by can be changed in order for us to get on a very new progressive path. That is the conversation we're having here tonight, and we are projecting the political leader of the Alternative National Congress, Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings, as the next president of this country, because we believe he has the wherewithal, the dexterity, right, to transform this country, given his perspective and his international experience and his argument concerning this nation. So please dial 0777 959 The lines are open. Good evening. Oh, I think we lost that caller. 0777 the numbers to call us this evening to participate on the platform. If you've been following us, this is Kia Radio 95.9 FM, and we have been discussing Mr. Cummings and other national issues. Good evening. Your name is and where are you calling us from?
Mr. Roger talking to you.
Yes, Mr. Roger. Please go ahead.
All of us, I want to go back to our last one after the call.
You say?
To go back to God who said all of us and beg him our need, our condition, which based on is not correct. By Bible, by Quran, if all of us shed here and say, Allah, please forgive us, sorrow. With our attitude, we not get good leader.
Because of our attitude. What sort of attitude do we have? Which is why we're not get good leader.
We give promises to our brothers and family in the country, and then we get a position, we go around the find things.
Okay. So that is your belief that we should go back to God.
Go back to God and ask him and thank to him, ask him, please forgive us, and we'll be a good people later. So please God provide our leader. We must thank to provide our leader.
But God is not voting anymore. So
listen to me, in the Bible and the Quran we have now today in our hand and other things, one we also understand and live by. Go by to that, the two books that we have in the whole world, Christian and Muslim.
Okay. Thank you so very much, Mr. Kurman, for participating. We highly appreciate your participation. So, fellow Liberians, dial 0777959959 0881-871-670. These are the numbers to dial this evening to participate on the platform. 0777959959 0881-871-670. These are the numbers you can please call, to participate on the platform. We've been discussing Mr. Cummings, what we as a nation can do now to be transformed, because we have dealt with so many individuals that have served in government, continue to serve in government, but in an unfortunate fashion, they have not been able to transform the living conditions of our people. So it is now time for us to, have a thought about, changing the course of direction of our country and changing the leaders that are leading our country currently, to give the chance to Mr. Cummings so that he can lead this nation to a path that is enviable enough that other people, other countries across the globe, in the sub-region, neighboring countries as well, can look at Liberia to say, yes, indeed, Liberia has a transformative president that is striving significantly, to ensure that they have everything that the yearn for as a country and people. So currently dial 0777959959 0881 0881-871-670 are the numbers to call us this evening, so that you can have your voice being heard on the platform this evening. We've been discussing Mr. Cummings, the political leader of the ANC. And if you want to participate, I read for you the numbers again: 0777 0881-871670 are the numbers to call this evening to participate on the platform, fellow Liberians. So, again, I want to tell you, fellow Liberians, let me get this done. Let me move to this. I think I will need to stress on it. You know, the rehabilitation issue in this country for the young people that have been victimized is very, very much important. I don't know as to why this government is not putting immense interest or employing immense interest in tackling the issue of our young people who have been victimized by the issue of drug in this country. But it is part of Mr. Cummings' 100 days agenda. Indeed, it is a very vital proponent of his 100-day agenda. He has said that he will ensure. Let me read verbatim. Let me read very verbatim. Launch a He will launch a decentralized rehabilitation programs to address the issue of disadvantaged youths, or the Zogos. The reason, I sat on this platform the last time and I said the administration of the day is interested in constructing political party headquarters across the country, other than constructing rehabilitation centers across the country for our victimized young brothers and sisters. Yes, this government is on record for collecting monies, public monies, to construct rehabilitation center, or to construct headquarters, political party headquarters across our country. Millions of dollars. But not a single rehabilitation center. Not a single rehabilitation center that has been constructed under the watch of President Barker, even though he said drug is a national crisis in our country. Liberia is fighting drug. So it is important for us to draw your attention to this. It is important that we draw your attention to this. That it is one of Mr. Cummings' idea. It is one of his agenda. It is one of his thought. That in order for us to mitigate the issue of drug, the young people that have been victimized should find a safe haven. And that particular safe haven is the construction of rehabilitation centers across our country. They are not going there to simply gain psychosocial counselings, but more to that, they are going to gain hands-on skills, carpentry, other technical vocational education such as electricity, plumbing, architecture, drafting. Mr. Cummings' argument is that when the victimized young people of this country are going to be, do we have a call there? Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from? I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, this is Vanny Daddy, 1 billion reaction, follower of Abraham Crossing.
Yeah, Vanny, you're always joining us. I like to say thank you for joining us, my brother. Let us hear you.
Yeah. Thank you, Baba. Thank you for your topic under discussion. You see, I love Mr. Cummings. Last night, I listened to the interview, and I also posed question to him. the matter of fact, we are in the opposition, and last night I listened to him. He said he welcoming any collaboration. He welcoming that, and I listened to him. He talked some things that really can satisfy, and we are following the landscape of politicians. So for that reason, for me, I cannot criticize Mr. Kumi because he's a potential leader that everybody should look up to. So thank you.
Yeah, but Vanny, before you leave the line, can I ask you this question?
Yeah.
Why do you think Mr. Cummings is a potential leader? Why do you have that conception?
Yeah, the reason for me, I said he is a potential leader is because he have the contact around the world. Yes, he had a contact. So for that reason, that it making it to be a potential leader. And when somebody has a contact, you don't play with that kind of person.
So can you vote for Mr. Cummings were he to contest as president, Vanny?
Oh yes. Yes. Mr. Cummings can contest as a president. He can make a good leader. He can make a good leadership in the future. So I don't criticize him, but the only thing that there for me, I love him, but we are is I what make. But I can follow him.
Okay.
I can follow him also. Yeah. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Vanny. Thank you so very much for joining us this evening. So, I mean, fellow Liberians, that's it. As I was saying, in terms of this entire, rehabilitation stuff, for those of our brothers and sisters that have been victimized by the issue of drug in this country, is that he has a vast and deep interest in constructing rehabilitation centers across this country. He cannot do so much in the opposition. He cannot do so much while he is not serving as president. But in that vein, Mr. Cummings went to the rehabilitation centers on the Bourgeois Island, one of those Destiny Recovery. Yes, my memory just did me justice. One of the rehabilitation centers Mr. Cummings went to, the Destiny Recovery Rehabilitation Center, and he said very clearly and plainly that the issue of drug in this country is very vital. The young people that have been victimized deserve a safe haven. And he donated mattresses and even finances to that particular rehabilitation center. Right? He went to West Point again. And he shared his own compassion to ensure that, yes, indeed, they have a change in their conditions. Those young people that have been victimized by drug in our nation today. He went there and he had a conversation. And he felt the pinch by those young victimized Liberians. So we are saying to you that this man is someone who has interest in the people. This man is someone who has deeply rooted interest in the transformation of our country. And once you understand that we're someone who has such an interest in this nation, with the level of strides he has made, significant strides by contributing philanthropically to the people whom he hoped to serve, as well as remaining particularly consistent in the political climate of our country and arguing consistently as per the economic situation of the people, which is very, very, very much appalling enough. He is someone who is to be given the baton to continue on a path of progress of this nation. And that is why we are amplifying him and projecting his candidacy for the presidency comes 2029. So kindly dial 07795 9959 The numbers to call us this evening. We have at least 10 minutes to leave from here, and it is time that Yes, good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Josh.
Yes, good
Hello?
evening. Yes, we are. You are live. We are
Yeah,
hearing you.
well, and good evening to the peaceful listener. And
Mm-hmm.
good evening to the people of people local kind of what Mr. Josh. My name is Mohammed Donzo Fana Jr.,
Okay,
a
Mohammed.
proud member of the Concerned Librarian for Justice.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Josh, sometimes, I really admire you guys from the Kia family that always propagate for Mr. Comey. Mr. Comey is a cool person that he got, good vision for this country. But I want to urge Mr. Comey to really join the CDC to be a good for modern force 2029 to redeem the brown people for this mess that Mr. Barker and Lieutenant has bring upon us. You know, but I don't want to really say that Mr. Comey is a alternative for 2029. It cannot be an alternative. You only need to go emerge with people from the CDC so that 2036 we can election a president of Liberia. So thank you for your good deliberation.
So may I ask you a question before you leave us?
Yeah.
You are talking. Did I just hear you say 2036?
Yeah, 2036 because another election will be held. So we
Yes,
can
I
elect.
know that another election will be held in 2036. But can you postpone development?
Yeah, because the CDC government, the president, who is now opposition
Mm-hmm.
to this document,
Mm-hmm.
and as administration, it did a lot of lot of development in this country, and a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people still need his service. So
Okay.
Mr. Kumi can be the alternative for 2029.
So you are saying that Mr. Cummings. So I want to know the suffering of the Liberian people will be postponed until 2036 before we elect Mr. Cummings.
No, it cannot be. No, it can. I will be postponed. It cannot be postponed because
But
this
why not
government.
elect Mr. Cummings now?
Come again?
Why not elect Mr. Cummings now?
No, because the constitution says that 6 years, and Mr. Boga should be in power for 6 years.
Yeah,
So
I
it
mean
cannot be.
2029. As we go forth to 2029, why you can
Yeah.
just say you believe that the man will be good president? Why you can just join the man one time? 2029, you campaign for the man, he made the man president.
No, the reason why I can't join Mr. Comey because President Weah, when he came in power, he did a lot of development. He opened the Liberian people mind. He do a lot of people. He do a lot of development. He made people who are homeless. He gave them good living facility.
Okay.
So as for me, President Weah got to comment his duty that because due to bad propaganda from the Union Party and
Mm-hmm.
the influence more influential Liberian like P. Johnson that gave the entire Labour Party to the Union Party. But even though they get it, they didn't win with percentage, they win with thousands.
Okay.
So they should know that they didn't win with any overwhelmingly vote 2023. So they should know that. And I want for the ANC to collaborate with the CDC.
Okay.
Really, to be frank.
So
Yeah.
so you have a very soft spot for Mr. Cummings.
Yeah, he got a vision like my president. We are the vision he
Okay.
have. It's like president. We have vision.
Okay. Thank you so very much for joining us this evening.
Okay, thank you too.
Thank you, my brother. 07779599959 The numbers to call. This is a platform that embraces the perspective. We have a caller there. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
Yeah, mommy.
Hello?
Yeah, mommy. Beatrice.
Yeah, ma'am, Beatrice. Thank you for joining us this evening on the platform.
Beatrice, so far.
Yes, Beatrice, please go ahead.
Since I've been more I know they're on social, but I thought to be testing and doing on social tonight.
Okay, tell us what touched you.
Yeah, Mr. Kumi, you're discussing. Mr. Kumi, in fact, we don't run his campaign.
Okay.
After we run a campaign for him, after me, I run a campaign to the thing for people to sell. After everything, the parents start stepping in. I told them that I would be able to pay a small money and then I win.
Okay.
Today, they are coming off and we start free.
Okay.
The lay work they give or probably work they are starting control they go down. Where for that black that is safety will be on there for the money they think give it to us.
Oh, probably where I get your money?
Probably we're not get our money also now they tell us say next week Friday.
Okay.
Mr. Kumi, I love Mr. Kumi, the guest I love John Upon we are.
Okay.
So Mr. Kumi really I will be able to show myself because I put people together for you. Even for it.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Beatrice. Thank you for loving Mr. Cummings. Thank you for loving Mr. Cummings.
Yeah, so I selling on Randall.
Okay, you're selling on Randall Street, but the party headquarters, Ma'am Beatrice.
Yeah.
The party headquarters is open from Monday to Friday from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. People are there. I think you can use your time one of those days, go there and have a conversation with the individuals that are there. Share your plot and they can incorporate you. And then maybe you can meet the political leader. You can have some conversation. Yeah, Ma'am Beatrice?
Okay.
All right, thank you so. Yeah, we'll deal with probably well. Thank you very much. 077759959 08818716770 077759959 08818716770. The numbers to call, we have at least 3 minutes, to be here on the platform this evening, and we can. Yes, good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
So, good evening. My name is Anderson.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, Anderson. Yes, you have 1 minute, my brother. Please go ahead. Hello? Let's take the next call there. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
Hello?
Yes, please make your point. Where are you joining us from?
Oh, from Southeast Community.
Yeah, please go ahead in 1 minute.
Yeah, I listen to you for telling Mr. Kumi. Or saying that Kumi should wait for 2029, 2030 now.
Yeah, 2036. Someone said Kumi should wait for 2036.
Yeah. Who is he that when we talking about development, then you talking about 2036?
Because you can postpone development.
Yeah. Who is he? And another thing, I always think Kumi should join the CDC before they make a point. If Kumi refuse to join United Party at that time, to join Joseph Black, he thinks Kumi can agree to join the CDC government.
Okay, thank you so very much. That question we cannot answer. I think we have another caller on the line. 077759959 08818716770. The numbers to dial this evening: 077759959 08818716770. I think we can take the last call there if we have one, so that we can climax out to this. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from? Yeah, please walk away from your monitor. Walk away from the monitor. Yeah, let us take the next call there. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
Good evening, my Samuel Diggs, and do call you for God bless you community.
Yes, Samuel, please go ahead in 30 seconds.
Well, we see Kumi to be the next alternative, but what we do see right now is that we think it is advisory that Kumi emerge with the CDC, go as a fast standard barrier, run with the CDC for the first 6 years, and then we can use Kumi for the 2036 for the presidency, that would be fine for him.
Okay, Samuel, thank you so very much for joining us. I think that was all the time we had here on today. We want to say thank you to everyone that participated, that called in, and everyone that follow us live on the social media. We are grateful for the opportunity always to sit in this studio on this platform to have conversations surrounding our nation, as well as our position as it relates to telling you that Liberia needs a new roadmap, and that particular new roadmap should be drawn by Mr. Alexander Bennett the Cummings, the political leader of the Alternative National Congress. Again, I'm Isaac S. George, your host on the National Discourse. Thank you so very kindly for joining us. Thanks to Tuzon for being at controls, and he enabled all of our sounds and ensured all of the technical activities be very, very much excellent. Until next week, bye bye.
LIB, stand up. Take me back to Liberia, where the drums still play my song. Take me back to my homeland. It's the place where I belong.
LIB Future TV, giving voice to progressive Liberians, speaking about politics, entertainment, and local news.